So I wanted to do a video about a couple things, but primarily it's going to be about the way anger has personally affected my health. Now, how did I come to this conclusion? I'll get into that. First, let me start by explaining I'm not a doctor, and anybody that tries to be their own doctor is a complete idiot. Also, anybody that takes health advice from somebody on YouTube and tries to doctor themselves with the advice from somebody on YouTube is doubly moronic, okay? I'm not giving health advice for people to take it and then do it, okay? Talk to your doctor or other licensed healthcare provider. Now, what am I getting at here? Okay. As many people know, I've been diagnosed with sinus tachycardia. Some people have diagnosed me with, postural orthostatic tachycardia. Other doctors have diagnosed me with whatever. So the other day I had an episode that was, really nuts. You start getting lightheaded, chest pain, stomach pains, like you're going to vomit, you can barely move. So I had to call an ambulance because I was home alone, and the ambulance takes me to the hospital. Now, the hospital, this is the problem, you shouldn't doctor yourself. However, when you're in an area like I am, you get pretty crappy doctors. So, long story short, doctor cuts to the chase and says, "Oh, well, you were diagnosed with low blood sodium, you were diagnosed with atrial fibrillation," which mind you, I did not diagnose myself with atrial fibrillation. Another physician wrongfully diagnosed me with atrial fibrillation, which was disproven through an event recorder. Long story short, the doctor says, "You have none of this. What you have, we don't know what's causing this, but I can't help you." Boom, boots me out. So I got into looking at what has caused a lot of these events. Now, with me, I'm a very angry person, okay? Not unreasonably angry, not unjustifiably angry, but the problem is your body does not care whether your anger is justified or not. Your body is going to react to anger the way it does, which is a very toxic way, raising blood pressure, raising adrenal hormones. It raises the fight or flight neurotransmitters and hormones, which then cause health concerns because they're constantly circulating in your body. And with me, they surge quite frequently. Now, I don't know if this is why, but it does seem that whenever I get in an argument or get angry or ruminate over the thoughts I have of people screwing me over in the past, I have bad blood pressure for a while, and I get tachycardic events. So, long story short, yeah, I embrace the relaxation response and things like this. However, by understanding this, it allows me to put a conscious effort into this, which will allow me to talk about this with my cardiologist, who actually has half a brain. Now, why am I saying this? Well, the implementation of the relaxation response. What I use is some of the methods devised by Win Wenger, from the guy that wrote the Einstein Factor. I use deep, even, slow breaths. Now, this combined with the amount of exercise I do, I have a very stringent walking program, as I walk for about 2 hours a day, broken into either 2 half-hour sessions or 4 15-minute sessions. I do one set of a form of calisthenics, which is a simplified form of those of, Nikolai Amosov, and I also do some Qigong. Okay, so that's basically my exercise program for the day. An hour of relaxation response, 2 hours of walking, and one set of calisthenics. So this helps obviously with my health, my general feeling of well-being, what have you. However, I am going to have to incorporate some sort of cognitive behavioral aspect to my overall health. And this is the intersection between mental and physical health. Mental health is ultimately physical health, meaning that it's usually your physiology. You have to remember, the brain is part of the body. The brain is not some magical, mystical, supernatural entity. Okay, but if people understand my outlook, which I take from the Seventh-day Adventist outlook, sin takes you away from the, quote, light of God by making you sick. That's how we know things are sinful. For example, homosexuality increases your likelihood of developing various illnesses, including prostate cancer and things of that nature. So we know that's sinful. In the same sense, we know things like anger is sinful because it causes blood pressure to rise, things of this nature. And this is based on naturalistic observation, not some revelation from a god, but rather the naturalistic observation of various prophets. So that's where I'm getting at with this. I'm going to leave a bunch of links to how anger might be sabotaging your health, but what's important to understand is a lot of these people, these carnivores that are into hunter-gatherer this and hunter-gatherer that, what they don't understand is this is the result of not living in the world of the hunter-gatherer. So, should we eat and act like we live in the world of the hunter-gatherer? Probably not. In the days of the hunter-gatherer, I'm highly evolved. I'm probably in pretty good shape. Plus, the adrenal rush and things that I get would come in very handy at escaping a predator or overcoming an adversary or things of that nature. The problem is we don't live in the time of the hunter-gatherer, which is one of the reasons I ruminate over my anger, because in the days we live now, you can't freely express your anger or overcome an adversary or undo a wrongdoing with an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. That's not copacetic anymore, which causes anger and causes rumination and causes health concerns from that rumination. And I'll post the links in the description.